We're here to discuss the purpose of OpenAgile. This is Paul Heidema, I'm Mishkin Berteig, and I hope you enjoy this little presentation. So, the purpose of OpenAgile is to create an environment in which people are free to express their true nature and capacities to contribute to the betterment of their organization. And that purpose is written as a formal statement on OpenAgile.com, along with a few other things, but we're going to explore that purpose in detail and talk about each of the pieces. To start with, Paul, why don't you go ahead?
Thank you, Mishkin. So the first phrase is to create an environment in the purpose of OpenAgile. So something to keep in mind is OpenAgile is not a prescription. It's not a solution. It's not a magic bullet. It is instead something that sets the stage. It allows for a learning mode. It creates that environment, that stage, that helps people do things. So as an example, myself and Mishkin are both coaches. And as a coach, we sometimes notice that people create, either by accident or on purpose, a culture of distrust, where things like underhandedness, lying, politicking, all kinds of games are happening that doesn't create that environment we're looking for. Mishkin.
Yeah, so in OpenAgile we're creating an environment, but not that kind of environment. We're trying to create an environment where people are free, they have some freedom. And the idea here is really similar to the idea of creating a safe environment, or an environment where people can have open, clear communication. And in this notion of freedom, we really want to encourage a space where people have the ability to self-organize, to volunteer, to work with other groups of people or other individuals to collectively come up with ideas that have some relationship, of course, to what they're doing, but the idea is to create that environment where that freedom exists to do the best thing possible. And this is very similar to what happens to individuals as they transition from childhood to adulthood. So, for example, as a child, your parents set a lot of constraints around your life, and they help you build capacities and so forth, but really the childhood is a very protected environment. And as you become more and more mature, you take on more and more attributes of freedom. You are able to do things on your own, you have less supervision, and gradually as an adult you're fully responsible for yourself. And so that responsibility is a critical component of the environment that we're trying to create. And so what is it that allows us to be responsible? What are we supposed to be responsible about? And that's the next part.
Yes, so we're hopefully be able to be responsible to express their true nature and capacities. So, as humans, humanity is noble in its nature. And so the idea here is to actually transcend an instinctual nature of the animal and go beyond that to express what our true nature and capacities are. So some examples of capacities may be things like reason, being able to reason through a question or problem and do that rationally with other people. Being generous with your time, generous with stuff that you own, generous with how you talk to people and being there and open for those conversations. Another example is humility. Very key to OpenAgile and in consultative decision making, which is one of the foundations, is to actually consult, to discuss as a group various topics, problems, conversations, whatever they are, and be humble in how you do that, how you offer your conversation, and both how you listen to others who offer information. Also, it could pertain to skills, such as technical skills if you're doing software, or the ability to build something, like, for instance, a carpenter, or abilities that are different than that, maybe related to a sports or something physical, or something, for instance, artistic. And those things help us move farther too.
So we use those skills and abilities, our capacities, our true nature, and to contribute to the betterment of something. And in the case of OpenAgile, the idea is that we're looking for people who are willing to be generous with these capacities, to give their capacities in some sense of the word, to give them to other people. And really the idea is to be of service. So we're looking for people we're looking to create an environment where people are able to use these skills and abilities to create an environment where other people can also use their skills and abilities. We're looking towards a positive direction. Obviously, using your skills and abilities to hurt someone else is not what OpenAgile is about. Rather, we're looking for continuous improvement and learning, and ultimately, and perhaps most importantly, really, betterment is about delivering value. And of course, in different contexts, value means different things, but fundamentally, we want to make sure that there are results to be seen.
So as Mishkin said, to contribute to the betterment, how that phrase finishes out is to their organization. And so an organization can be many different things. As Mishkin said, depending on the organization or group that you're part of, the value may be different. So it's a group of people in some context. If it's a business or a profit business, that value is tied very much to money. If it's a non-profit business or organization, that would be tied to something else. It can even pertain to a community. So the neighborhood that you live in could be a community, that could be the organization that's important to you. And so the concept here is that individuals on their own can contribute value. But as a group, or a larger group, or an entire organization, such as a community or a business, can actually contribute much more, can actually change the culture that they're in, and actually can deliver and affect those around them, other organizations too. So it's really key here is to build unity. And so that's the thing that we're trying to move forward within OpenAgile.
Hopefully this has been a good summary and it helps you understand the purpose of OpenAgile more. And if you have any questions, blah, 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 blah.